let's talk about something, that fear of actually speaking English. You've got the grammar, you've got the vocabulary, but when it comes to talking, that confidence just isn't there. Well, we're going to fix that. I've got a simple plan for you. Okay, does this sound like you? You can read English, you can watch movies, you probably even know all the grammar rules. But the second someone asks you a question, your mind just goes blank. It is so common, you have no idea. And here's the secret. The fix isn't about cramming more words into your brain. It's about changing the way you practice. All right, first things first, let's get this straight. Your brain, it's a muscle. Seriously. And just like any muscle, you have to work it out. Imagine going to the gym and just watching other people lift weights. You wouldn't expect to get stronger, right? Well, that's exactly what happens with language.
You know, listening to a podcast or watching a show in English, that's like being that person at the gym just watching. It's great for getting the vibe, you pick up on how things sound, but you're not actually building the specific speaking muscle that you need to, talk.
But speaking is when you step up and actually lift the weights yourself. That's the real workout. Your brain has to pull up words, string sentences together, and actually make sounds. That's the only way you're going to build that strength, period.
So you see the difference, right? It's watching versus doing, passive learning versus active skill building. If you really want that confidence, you've got to move from just watching to actually doing. So how do we do that? Let's get into it.
Okay, let's get down to business. I'm going to give you a super simple 3-step routine. You can do this every day, even if you're all by yourself. Just think of it as your daily speaking workout. Okay, step 1, narrate your world. Yeah, it sounds weird, but trust me. When you're making coffee, say it out loud. I am pouring the water. I am adding the coffee. You might feel a little silly at first, but it's an amazing fluency booster. Step 2, record and shadow. Find a short clip of a native speaker and just try to copy them. Record yourself and see how close you can get to their rhythm. And number 3, this one's a game changer. Stop learning single words. Learn full phrases. And here's why that's so important. Think about it. If you already have a full phrase like, in my opinion, or could you repeat that, locked and loaded in your brain, you don't have to build the sentence word by word. It just comes out. It makes you sound so much smoother and helps you jump into a conversation without freezing up. And you know what the best part is? You only need 10 minutes. That's it. Look, consistency is everything. Practicing for just 10 minutes every single day is way, way more powerful than trying to cram in a 2-hour session once a month. It's about building a habit. Okay, so we've got the workout plan, but now we need to tackle the biggest obstacle. And it's not the grammar, it's your own mindset. Because you can have the best plan in the world, but if you're too scared to even start, it's useless. So let's talk about shifting from perfection to progress. So many of us get stuck in this thing called the perfection trap. It's that little voice inside your head, you know the one, that whispers, wait until your English is perfect before you speak. But guess what? That day will never come. It's impossible. Waiting for perfect means you'll wait forever. The only way forward is to practice, even when it's messy and imperfect. You've really got to let this sink in. A mistake is not a failure. It's just proof that you're trying. It shows you're actually doing the work. I promise you, every fluent speaker you've ever met has made thousands and thousands of mistakes to get there.
And on the flip side, you have to celebrate the small wins. Did you successfully order a coffee in English? That's a huge win. Pat yourself on the back. Did you have a 30-second chat with someone? Awesome. Acknowledging those little victories is what keeps you going and builds that momentum.
All right, we've talked about the why, the muscle, and the how, the workout. Now let's put it all together. Here is your super clear 10-minute action plan, something you can do literally the second this is over.
Ready? Here's your first 10 minutes. Step 1, pick a really easy topic, like my favorite movie or what I did yesterday. Step 2, talk about it out loud for just 2 or 3 minutes. Set a timer if you want. Step 3, grab your phone and record yourself saying a few of those useful phrases we talked about. And finally, step 4, and this is key, listen back to your recording. But here's the rule. No judgment. Just listen. That's it. The whole thing is less than 10 minutes.
So you see, it all just comes down to starting. You've got the workout plan now, you've got the right mindset. The only thing left to do is, well, to do it. Don't wait for some perfect moment that's never going to come. So I'll just leave you with this one question. What is the first thing you are going to say in English today?
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're looking at a huge stack of sources, all focused on one thing, actually mastering English speaking. We've got some fantastic practical tips, daily strategies here, really designed to shift you from just knowing English, passively to actively using it. Let's be honest for a second. Have you ever had that feeling, that stomach drop nervousness when someone asks you something simple in English, even though you actually know the words?
Oh, absolutely. That feeling is incredibly common.
Right. It's like this fear just takes over. Well, that's what we're tackling today. We're aiming to give you a clear step-by-step roadmap to get past that with focused daily practice.
Yeah, that mind freeze, as some sources call it, or the internal editor kicking in too hard. It feels like a huge barrier, but it's definitely 100% something you can overcome. It's not about some secret trick. It's really about using smart strategies and, crucially, consistency.
And that's exactly our mission for this deep dive. We want to show you how to make practice a real habit, something you stick with, and how to fine-tune your pronunciation so people understand you clearly. And, maybe most importantly, how to build that confidence. The confidence you need to just speak, comfortably, naturally. Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's unpack this first bit. Why is actually speaking practice so much more important than, say, just memorizing grammar or learning vocabulary lists?
Well, because speaking is where it all comes together, isn't it?
Right.
It's the point where all the bits you've learned, the words, the rules, the phrases they have to work together, like instantly, automatically. You could know thousands of words, understand every grammar rule, but if you freeze up trying to actually say something in a real conversation, well, that knowledge isn't doing much for you then. Fluency is really about communication, right? And communication needs production. You have to produce the language.
Yeah, that's a great point. And the sources had this really helpful analogy about the brain being like a muscle. I thought that was spot on. It really is. Think about it, just listening or reading. Those are receptive skills. It's kind of like sitting in a gym reading about weightlifting.
Or watching someone else lift weights.
Exactly. You understand how it works, maybe admire the technique, but speaking is the productive skill. That's you actually doing the lifting. You're straining those linguistic muscles, forcing your mouth and brain to coordinate in real time. That's the only way you build the actual strength and speed for conversation.
And there's another interesting benefit mentioned too. Speaking regularly actually helps your listening skills. How does that work?
It's a kind of positive feedback loop. When you practice building sentences yourself, your brain gets better at predicting, sort of anticipating the structures and words other people will use.
Ah, okay. So you understand them faster.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It makes comprehension quicker, less effortful. The better you are at producing language, the better you become at decoding it when you hear it.
Got it. That makes perfect sense. Okay, so we know why it's important. Now let's talk about the roadblocks. What are the common traps, the things that make learners, even dedicated ones, get stuck or, even give up on speaking?
Yeah, looking through the research, there are about 4 main challenges that keep popping up, and they often work together, unfortunately. Number one is definitely the fear of making mistakes. We mentioned that internal editor. It's that voice telling you, wait, is that grammar perfect? Is that the right word? People hesitate, wanting perfection before they speak.
And that hesitation just kills the flow, right?
Exactly. It creates awkward pauses, ruins the rhythm, and just tanks your confidence. The trap is thinking mistakes are failures when actually they're just data. They show you what to work on.
Okay, fear of mistakes. What's number 2? Is it about vocabulary?
It is, but it's maybe more about accessing vocabulary quickly. So limited working vocabulary. You might know lots of words on paper.
Like you can recognize them when reading.
Right. But if you can't pull them out fast enough when you're talking, you feel stuck. You're constantly searching, pausing. It feels like you don't know enough, even if you do. Then number 3 is that really tough one, lack of confidence.
Ah, the mind freeze again.
Yeah. Even when you know the words, the rules, the feel of sounding stupid or being judged just makes your mind go blank. It's like stage fright, but for language.
Okay, fear, vocabulary, access, confidence.
Yeah.
What's the 4th one? Something more practical.
It often is. Number 4 is simply a lack of opportunity to actually speak.
Right, if you're learning in a country where English isn't the main language.
Exactly. Finding regular kind of low-pressure situations to practice can be really hard. So learners end up just reading or listening, sticking to those receptive skills.
Okay, so if you're listening and you recognize yourself in one or maybe even all 4 of those, that's actually a good sign.
It really is. Because once you identify the block, you're ready for the solutions. And the good news is there are very practical things you can do.
Perfect. Let's pivot to those practical steps then. What can listeners start doing, like, today? The sources really hammer home this idea of consistency, don't they?
Absolutely relentless about it. 10 minutes every single day is far, far better than trying to cram in 2 hours once a month. It's about building the habit.
Like brushing your teeth.
Kind of, yeah. And a lot of this practice you can actually do completely on your own. The first technique is often called self-talk or narration.
Okay, so just talking to yourself.
Basically, yes. You just describe what you're doing out loud as you do it. Like when you're cooking, okay, I'm chopping the onions now, I need to find the tomatoes.
That sounds almost too simple. How does narrating mundane stuff like "where are my keys" actually help fluency?
It forces your brain to connect the English words and sentence structures directly to the actions and concepts without translating back and forth in your head.
Bypassing the mental translation step.
Exactly. Most learners hear something, translate it to their native language, think of a reply, translate that back to English. Self-talk cuts out the middleman. It speeds up that processing time.
Okay, I can see that. What's the second solo technique?
Voice recording. This one's powerful. You pick a topic, talk about it for, say, 1 minute, and record yourself.
Okay, and then listen back. That sounds a bit painful.
It can be at first, but you listen back specifically for mistakes, pronunciation, awkward grammar, hesitations. Then you immediately try again. Record the same minute-long talk. The improvement, just between the first and second try, can be amazing. It really trains you to notice your own errors and self-correct.
Interesting. Okay, self-talk, voice recording. What's number 3?
Number 3 is shadowing. This one is fantastic for getting the rhythm and flow of English.
Shadowing, like following someone.
Kind of. You listen to a native speaker, maybe from a video, a podcast, an audiobook, and you repeat what they say immediately after them, like half a second behind or even trying to speak at the exact same time.
So you're not focused on understanding everything.
Not primarily. The main goal is to mimic the sound, the intonation, the speed, the way words link together, the stress patterns. It's like physical training for your mouth muscles, getting them used to moving in English ways.
Right, tuning your ear and your mouth at the same time. Okay, those 3 are great for solo practice. What about interacting with others?
Yeah, eventually you need that interaction. So strategy number 4 is finding a conversation partner. This could be online language exchange apps, maybe a tutor.
Someone to actually talk with.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because that forces you to respond spontaneously. You can't plan everything out. If you pause too long looking for the perfect word, the conversation moves on. You have to produce language live.
That spontaneity really pushes you past the mind freeze, I guess.
It does. And the 5th strategy helps make that smoother. It's about shifting your focus from single words to learning phrases or chunks.
Like learning "how's it going?" instead of just "how" and "going."
Precisely. learning ready-made functional chunks, like, could you repeat that? What I mean is, or it's, in my opinion, these do two things. They make you sound much more natural and less robotic.
Like you're not building sentences from Lego bricks.
Right. And they also buy you a little thinking time in the conversation. They smooth out the flow.
Okay, so build the habit with solo practice, then find partners and use chunks to sound smoother. Got it. Now let's zoom in on pronunciation. This is where English gets tricky, right? The spelling often doesn't match the sound at all.
Oh, definitely. The number one piece of advice from pretty much all sources is focus on the sounds, not the letters.
Forget the spelling rules sometimes.
For pronunciation, yes, often. Reading rules can sometimes confuse more than help. You really need to listen actively to how native speakers actually say things. Use YouTube, movies, podcasts, whatever you enjoy.
And imitate them.
And that record and compare technique we mentioned, it's crucial here too. Record yourself saying a word or phrase, then listen to the native speaker version, then yours again.
To catch those small differences.
Exactly. Those subtle vowel sounds or consonant clusters that your ear might filter out initially, you have to train your ear to hear them and your mouth to make them. Maybe pick tricky word families like through, though, thought, and practice them daily.
Right. And there was a really interesting point in the sources about stress and intonation. Not just individual sounds, but where you put the emphasis.
Yes. This is huge for sounding natural and being understood correctly. Stressing different words can completely change the meaning of a sentence.
Okay, let's use that classic example. I didn't say he stole the money. Walk us through it. If I stress I.
Okay, I didn't say he stole the money. What does that suggest?
That someone else said it, not me.
Exactly. You're shifting the blame, basically. Now, stress say, I didn't say he stole the money.
Maybe I implied it or wrote it down, but I didn't speak the words.
Perfect. You're changing the method of communication being denied. Okay, now stress stole. I didn't say he stole the money.
Okay. So maybe he borrowed it or found it.
Yeah.
But the action wasn't stealing.
You got it. See how powerful that is? Just shifting the stress changes the entire implied meaning. It's not just about volume. It's a core part of conveying your message accurately in English. You have to practice this.
Wow. Yeah. That's definitely something to work on. Stress isn't optional. It's part of the meaning. Okay. So, moving on from sounds to actual words, how do we expand vocabulary for real conversations beyond just the basics for self-talk?
The advice is pretty practical. Focus your learning on everyday topics, things you're actually likely to talk about. Food, travel, work, hobbies, what's in the news. And again, keep learning full phrases and context, not just the word breakfast, but I usually grab breakfast on the go.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And the sources mentioned a specific technique for this, topic-based something.
Yes, topic-based practice. It's really effective. You pick a topic for the day, maybe my hometown or my favorite book or plans for the weekend.
Okay.
Then you just talk about it out loud for maybe 1 or 2 minutes straight. Record it if you can. The key is don't stop to look up words.
Just keep talking, even if it's not perfect.
Exactly. Force yourself to keep the flow going. Use simpler words. Talk around the idea if you don't know the exact term. It trains you to be fluent despite vocabulary gaps.
And what happens after the 2 minutes?
Then you reflect. Listen back or just think. Where did I get stuck? What words or phrases did I really need? Then you look those specific things up.
So it's targeted learning based on what you actually needed.
Precisely. Then maybe try the same topic again the next day with your new vocabulary. It builds confidence really quickly on specific, relevant subjects. And this ties into practicing common scenarios too, like that coffee corner dialogue example. Mentally rehearsing or even role-playing simple interactions like ordering food makes the real thing much less intimidating. The phrases feel ready.
Okay, habits, pronunciation, vocabulary. That covers the how. But there's still that big mental piece, the mindset, the confidence.
Absolutely critical. Without the right mindset, all the techniques can fall flat. And there's a fascinating trick mentioned in the sources that successful learners often use.
Oh, what is it?
Basically, pretend English is just a game.
A game. How does framing it like that help?
It lowers the stakes emotionally. Think about playing a video game. When you mess up, you don't feel deep personal shame.
No, you just try again, maybe figure out a different strategy.
Exactly. Mistakes are just feedback. They show you how to play better next time. If you treat speaking English like a high-stakes performance where every error is a judgment on you, it creates massive anxiety. But if it's a game, you feel more encouraged to experiment, try out new words, new structures. It makes it more fun, less terrifying, takes the pressure off.
That's actually really smart. reducing the fear factor.
Hmm.
And related to that, I suppose, is celebrating the small wins.
Definitely. The sources really stress this. Don't compare yourself to native speakers. They've had a lifetime of practice. Compare yourself to you yesterday.
Right. Focus on your own progress.
Every sentence you manage to say, every conversation you navigate, even imperfectly, that's a win. Acknowledge it. It builds a momentum and keeps you motivated. Progress over perfection, always.
Okay, so mindset is key. Now, what about when basic conversation starts feeling, well, maybe not easy, but more comfortable? Where do learners go next?
That's when you introduce some more complex, advanced exercises to keep pushing your skills. We're not stopping at just survival English.
Right, got to keep growing. What kind of exercises?
3 main ones are often recommended. First, debate practice. Pick a topic, doesn't have to be serious, could be cats versus dogs, and argue for one side.
Ooh, that forces you to structure thoughts quickly.
And use persuasive language, counter-arguments. It really stretches your spontaneous thinking and vocabulary. Second, storytelling. Try narrating a more complex story, maybe something that happened to you, a movie plot. This forces you to use different tenses correctly, link ideas chronologically. It's much harder than just describing your breakfast.
Yeah, managing past, present, future tenses smoothly is tricky.
It is. And the third one is great for processing information quickly. Summarizing.
How's that work?
You read an article or watch a short video on maybe a slightly complex topic, then turn it off and immediately summarize the main points out loud in your own words.
So you have to understand it, process it, and produce language about it under pressure.
Exactly. It hits comprehension, critical thinking, and fluency all at once. It's a fantastic fluency booster when you're ready for it.
That's a great progression, from self-talk about keys all the way to summarizing articles. Okay, let's wrap this up with a clear action plan for the listener. What are the key takeaways they should start doing immediately? All right, number 1, speak. Every single day, even just 10 minutes. Self-talk counts.
Absolutely. Number 2, record yourself sometimes. Listen back, find your patterns, fix one thing at a time.
3, learn phrases, those chunks of language, not just single words. It helps flow.
Right. 4, work on pronunciation and intonation. Remember that stress changes meaning. Listen and mimic.
5, practice real-life stuff. Role-play ordering coffee, asking for directions, whatever feels useful.
And 6, stay consistent. Treat it like a game to lower the fear, and definitely celebrate every little bit of progress you made.
You stick to those steps, even for just a few months. The difference will be huge, won't it?
Dramatic, both in confidence and in how fluently you can actually express yourself. It really just comes down to consistency, showing up and making the sounds.
Okay, and here's a final thought to leave you with. Fluency isn't some final destination you suddenly arrive at. It's built over time. The real goal isn't just perfect grammar or huge vocabulary lists.
No, it's about using language as a tool for connection, for sharing ideas, even just for play.
So why wait? Don't put it off until your next study session. Try this. The very next time you do something totally mundane, make coffee, check your email, walk down the street, try narrating it out loud. Just start.
Start playing the game today. You might surprise yourself.
That's all for this deep dive. We really hope this roadmap helps you find your voice and speak up with confidence. We'll catch you on the next one.